I'm trying to. There we go.
Thank you.
You already know. It's Turned Up Tuesday, and it's already turned up. So look, it's another Tuesday in the free world, so you know we here. You could bite the style, but you might break your teeth, you bitch ass niggas. Pay attention, man. I'm here with my motherfucking brother.
It's your boy H&IC. We in the building.
And before we go any further, excuse me, R.I.P. Bushwick Bill, B. For real, for real. But around here, we let the
Houston.
guests introduce themselves. You already know.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Nona B. I'm AKA NR Bishop, a Love Like Dynamite author, first time author.
That's what it is. First of all, we want to welcome you. Thank you for your time. I mean, time is the one thing we can't buy. I seen y'all pull up in a foreign, so y'all like buying nice shit. You can't buy time, so you gotta appreciate that.
Facts.
Right?
That is true. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate your time as well.
You already.
Letting me market my book and talking a little bit about the book.
Facts.
Indeed, indeed.
Welcome.
Yo, Rich, spin your water for me, because them niggas is not paying us.
Oh yeah, you absolutely
My
right.
nigga. So look, you already know we shout out the same people every week because we fuck with those that fucks with us. So shouts out to Chi Chi's Kitchen.
Chi-Chi's.
CHICHIIS Kitchen on the gram. Fried crab legs. We know when y'all drunk in the club, when you coming home, you need something to fill that belly so you can make it to the next day. That's where you want to go. Now, ladies, this is for y'all. Ice Bella Vita. Ice Bella Vita on the gram. She got
Get
the
them
eyelashes
lashes.
that don't fall off. You heard it. You know what I mean? So
Don't
rock well,
fall
ladies.
off.
It's summertime. It be hot. We don't need your eyelashes half on. We trying to holler. You know, listen, make it easier for us. You heard? So we gonna get into the dickhead of the week before we go any further. Mr. Yo Gotti.
Wow, come on.
There's an art.
The DM.
Listen, man, white boy himself, Mr. White. So, Young Fletcher and Stack Money Empire gave him 20,000 for a verse. Of course, Mr. Gotti never gave him their verse. So he turned around and said, instead of giving you a verse, I'm gonna give you a deal worth 150,000. So to try to play him, you know, it's worth more than the 20. Nigga, you gonna make all this money off? Man, listen, get out of here. So they turned that down, and they ended up suing him, and they ended up winning the suit for 6.6 million. So 20,000 just cost this man 6.6 million. I think that qualifies him for dickhead of the week.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's a fact. Like, listen, be real with your paperwork out there, people. Honor your contracts. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into Yo Gotti. Then we got Miss Bishop. Where my fun fact at? I had a good fun fact for y'all too. We'll get to that later. Fuck it. We're gonna go right into Miss Bishop. Make sense? You with it, Rich?
Yeah, it makes sense.
We know you with it, Miss Bishop. Why wouldn't
yeah.
you be with that? So, Miss Bishop, you're a life influence her,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So break that down. That's already, you know, some writer shit, mad creative. Life
Right.
influence her.
So I don't know if it's just a woman shit, but.
Oh,
you know,
my bad. I'm not a sexist. I'm
but-
sorry. I'm sorry.
Because you sound a little sexist.
People shit. People shit.
But yes, definitely, I'm about women's movement. I'm female, in case you haven't noticed. So
Respect.
yes, I definitely what I hope to do with the book. But I do life coaching and motivational speaking. But the book is really about my life. It comes from a personal place. It's a very vulnerable place, and the goal of it is to help women who have been through traumatic experiences.
Right.
So I'm all about women power, but I'm also about Black people power. So,
Salute.
but I am female, so I'm gonna influence her before I influence her.
She is woman. Hear her roar.
Word.
I'm not mad. So I want to get into the e-coaching just because I think that's super dope because technology is definitely where everything's headed.
Word.
So to me, just being a layman, it seemed like you took life coach and just being like an electronic life coach. Is that fair to say?
So it's definitely fair to say. I think everybody these days, everybody wants convenience, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to wait for anything. I went to Ignite Your Hustle workshop, and a woman speaker, Brittany Hennessy, talked about how she buys these like refillable toothpaste that's like little like pills of toothpaste that you put it on a toothbrush, you brush. There's no tube. You don't have to. But in a world of convenience, like everybody wants convenience. Nobody wants to, have to schedule an appointment with their therapist.
Right.
And then you got to get there, and then you got to get home, and
Oh.
the travel time to get to your therapist, and maybe a half-hour drive
Right.
from where you work, or an hour drive. So
Right.
what I did was cut out the travel time. It's convenient. I can Skype you. I can FaceTime you.
Right. That's important.
We can Zoom, whatever is your preference. We can have a phone call, but preferably a video conferencing. But just to make it convenient for people who need life coaching. And life coaching isn't therapy, so if someone needs to heal from trauma or some traumatic event, I can't do that. But if you're stuck and you're trying to move forward, and maybe in your career, in your professional life,
Right.
or even in your personal life, you're just stuck and need kind of some guidance on how to move forward, then that's where the e-coaching comes in.
Dope shit. Dope shit.
That's
Dope
real.
shit.
Well, thank you.
Now we're gonna get into the writer thing. Cause I just wanted to,
Yes.
first of all,
Right.
promote your business. You know what I mean? Spend some money with her. It's not free.
Facts.
It shouldn't
Spend
be.
some money, all things
You know what I mean?
knownabishop.com.
Yeah, we definitely gonna get into the site because that's super dope in itself.
Yeah.
But all right. So, what do you think about the term street novels? Like, how does that, that favor well with you? Do you like it? Don't like it?
So I think anybody that writes a book and tell a story, it's something personal to it. So I think it's kind of a catch-22 because it can be a good thing depending on what side you look at it. I don't think my book is necessarily a street novel just because it's a true story, but it talks a lot about growing up in urban areas. So maybe it is perhaps
Right.
a street novel, but I don't think it's a negative connotation. I think it's just how you perceive it to be. But I don't want to never be stuck in like it's just a street novel, just because I feel like anybody could get something out of my book.
Right.
Dope. Nah, dope.
You know, I'm a dope person, but
All right, relax. Hold on. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So, boom. What do you think about tell-alls like Superhead and not just use her, but or just tell-alls, that type of thing?
So I think tell-alls. If you're telling your truth, then you're telling your truth, right? And sometimes your truth includes other people, and
True.
I mean that's the same thing like my book with telling my story. I had to include other people that were involved. I
Right.
tried to tell it in a way that I brought dignity and integrity to the people that have been intertwined in my life. But I think that as long as if it's true to you, then it's your story. Now maybe you need to change some names and whatever.
Yeah, because
so
people
that-
will try to sue you and stuff like that. Like,
And outside of people trying to sue you, right? I can tell my truth, but maybe you don't. Maybe you're not in that space where you want the world to know your business.
Right.
So more so than telling the truth is, even if people have did you harm, it's protecting people and their right to privacy.
you ever had to deal with situations like that?
So this is my first novel, and I talk a lot about other people. So in writing it, I had to be mindful of my kids, right? Because I'm talking about their
Right.
dads. And even though these rocky relationships that was filled with ups and downs and more downs than ups, I had to tell my story in a way that my kids aren't like, you're talking about my dad. And particularly my son, his dad passed away 6 years ago. And I wanted to, and we had a really bad marriage. But I wanted to tell the story in a way that my son is not like, you dragged my dad.
Right.
And my daughter's father, who is still living, and we kind of don't have a good relationship. And I really wanted to like drag his ass, like, like fuck that. Like, let me just like diss him all over the book. But and the first draft, I really did drag him. And then when I went back, I'm like, you know what? My daughter has to read this book. My grandson has to read this book. And I want to tell my story
Right.
in a way that she doesn't have to say, well, Dad, you had to, diss my dad, or you had to, drag my dad. So I think that, you have to be, mindful of people that you're talking about. And
But some people they don't be mindful about certain things, and they just put everything in the book.
well,
Understand what I'm saying?
I mean, well,
Word.
people,
So what do you say to those people that do stuff like that? Because, be honest, when people do stuff like that, that's like controversy. I think that sells more. You understand what I'm saying? Oh,
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Shout out to
I
Lovely
know
Entertainment.
It's hard to navigate because we all, but that's part of the challenge. But speaking to the mic, people.
yes.
It's Turned Up Tuesday, man. You already know how it goes down.
So
We do it
the-
on the fly, baby.
So to
Come on.
answer your question, I
Right.
think that people have to tell us truth in the space that they're in. So if that's what they need to do, look, this is my story or this is their story, right? So they have the right to tell their story in the way that they see fit. Now, I think, yes, people should be a little bit mindful when you're including other people in your story, and 9 times out of 10, your story will include other people.
Right.
But if that's their story, that's their story, period.
Facts.
And, if you are embarrassed about what somebody's talking about you, then maybe you need to live a better life. Lead with love.
That's real. That's real.
Right.
All right, so boom. I got like a gamut of questions, so I'm gonna pick some of the best ones. Oh, let's start down here. First book you ever read? Not like Dr. Seuss, like the first real book, like at least over 16. You can't skip Richie. Hold on, Miss Bishop.
Okay, sorry.
The Witches.
I always thought ladies was first. But
Oh
go ahead,
shit,
Richie.
she got me. My
Go
bad.
ahead,
Dog,
Richie. Go.
my favorite.
She got me. She's smooth.
No
She's a
worries.
writer. She thinks quick. She got it.
First book, The Witches by Roald Dahl. That was my book.
Miss Ladies first. Don't look at me.
Okay. Listen, I'm a reader, so I think the first book, I actually talk about it in the book, and see, you didn't read my book. I was
Lord
in.
have mercy. I'm a slow reader. I'm dyslexic. You
Okay.
telling my problems to the world. Like,
You get a pass.
I wasn't ready to share.
You get a pass, okay. This is a story about truth, so we all telling our truth now.
She cool, man. Shout out to G Money. She cool. She cool.
So, first book that I read that I would say made an impact was a book called Striped Ice Cream, and
Striped ice cream?
Striped Ice Cream. I read it in third grade. Just kind of browsing through the library, and I was giving my teachers a break because I was a really bad kid, and well, not a bad kid. I was a kid that was experiencing childhood trauma, and it was
Right.
coming out in other ways. And so I was browsing the library. I was really giving my teachers a break because I was tired of just, fucking off the day.
Right.
And I went to the library, and I'm just kind of flicking through. And I come across this book called Striped Ice Cream, and it was the first time that I had ever seen a black kid on a book. And many years later, I found out the author wasn't black, but I seen this black girl on a book, and she kind of looked like me, and I had never seen that. And I picked the book up, and here's my book, and I'm looking at the back of the book, and I'm kind of examining the book, and I end up reading the book, and I was able to resonate with the character. Her name was Becky. And so I would have these really bad birthdays. If you read the book, you would know that. But anyway, back to the book. Becky, her family was planning a surprise birthday party, and they were kind of being mean to her and kind of not recognizing her day, and she felt really bad and really unloved. And I was able to resonate with that. And on that day, I fell in love with reading.
That's a bittersweet truth, because that sucks, but at the same time, it sounds like it brought you comfort at the same time, kind of thing.
So I was able to resonate with it, and what I found in reading that book was I was able to escape whatever was my reality.
Exactly.
I could escape it in a book, and I could be Becky, and I could be whatever character that I read in the book.
That's dope. That's dope. What brought you to your first book, Rich? You just said the name and ran off. Well, who introduced you to it? What made you want to read it? Right.
Nah, I just was at the library just one day, and you know how like after school they tell you like your after school program, they bring you to the library and stuff like that.
Right.
So it was a situation like that. So I just picked up that book, The Witches, and that was the first book like I read, like chapter book overall.
Right.
And I liked it. You know what I mean? That's how I got to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, because Roald Dahl wrote, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So that's how I got into that.
I dig it. Can I tell my first book? Goddamn. Oh, thank you, Lovely Entertainment. Shout out to Lovely Entertainment, all your entertainment needs, please. Shout out on the Grenam. But Monster, my man Raj, he was reading that. And I guess because of the content, it just, like she said, resonated with me, so I was actually able to stick with the book. And that was the first book I ever finished. I was probably like 20.
Right.
And it was actually the first chapter book that I ever sat down. Don't
At
judge
20?
me. Jesus Christ. So I could see the
I'm being
dissension in her
judgy.
eyes. Like,
I'm being
Negro,
judgy. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was outside. They wasn't reading books outside. But I grew up, you dig? And you know what I mean?
I feel you.
Really, for me, I always was a great reader. Math was always, the struggle subject. But patience to read, right? Like, it takes patience to sit down. You got to put in hours to finish a book. I'm more of a 20-minute
You
type.
ain't disciplined to do that.
And this is what I'm working on. Like, if you look at my bag now, I got 2 books in my bag. Just because I'm working on sitting down, making time, and having the patience to read. Because it's important. because this is how they get so many of us in everything we do. We go places, they give us a 40-page contract, but it says you're going to get money at the end. So you be like, oh, okay, nah, that's fine.
Yeah, and you're not reading everything what's going on.
Come on. If you're an avid reader, you could sit down and take the patience to be like, you know what, nah, I want to read everything in here, understand it. You know what I mean?
Even
and
when you're trying to get a car, a house, whatever you do, you gotta be able to read. Because if you don't know how to read, you're fucked out in this world. And that's a fact.
It's Turned Up Tuesday. You already know we usually do the rapper thing, but what we respect here is underground and indie artistry, right? And artistry comes in so many different flavors.
Facts.
So that includes writers, and these are the reasons why you hood boogaboos, you know what I'm saying, out there that don't read like I didn't.
That's a fact.
Should. Because like the homie said, you might turn into whatever you may turn into, or just in your daily life, have some type of contracts that you need to go over, read, and make sure. Maybe not for yourself, maybe for your kid, your moms, whoever. But maybe you should be a reliable source. Love Entertainment, what up?
When I read your book, right, I read it in the day, like that night.
See, PD holding it down.
Yeah, somebody read it. Somebody read it.
It reminded me of Donald Goins, you know, that kid who took it from Donald Goins.
That's a big compliment right there.
Down, right?
That's Iceberg Slim, right?
That all his books, characters came out of one book and he brought it to another.
To another.
Your mother, like how, like that relationship. Tell us about it. Like.
So, because you guys didn't read the book.
Yo, shots fired.
Fired.
Lovely Entertainment asked, just like in the same way that Donald
Shout out
Goins
to
would use
Lovely
characters.
Entertainment, who actually read my book.
Indeed. He would
Indeed.
use characters from one book and then make sequels with the preceding characters. So she just wanted to know what was the plan. But just because
Yes.
the viewers can't hear Lovely Entertainment. So.
Right. So the book is called Love Like Dynamite, and it's actually a name that I named my mom. So we had a really, from 1 to 5 or birth to 5, we had a really great relationship. Both my parents were heroin addicts. I sent my dad to jail at 5. The cops were looking for him, and I told him the correct
God
address.
damn, you really was bad. You really was
I didn't
bad.
know.
Ain't a snitch.
Yeah.
Did you hear what you just
Yeah,
said?
goddamn.
Yo.
So I first
about to
started
pull
writing
her
at
up.
You
You
said
gotta say
at 5
here.
you put your dad
Yeah,
to jail?
She
Yeah.
murders people, attempted murders. She's a snitch.
Right.
Yo.
I'm a rat and an attempted murderer, yes. But no,
Yo.
seriously, the cops were at
You lived
my
life.
grandmother's door, and they were looking for my dad, and my grandmother was like, I don't know Dennis Bishop. And I'm like, yeah, we live at 30 Richmond Plaza, apartment 19D. And yeah,
Whoa.
a week later, they went and picked him up. But anyway, my dad was the functioning addict of both my parents, and my mom couldn't manage her heroin addiction and care for me and my sister.
Right.
And so, long story short, you know, a series of neglect led to BCW, which is now ACS,
ACS.
removing us from the home, and we went to live with my aunt, who I had only met twice when we went to live with her. But as I got older, I developed a hate for my mom, right? Because moms are supposed to be there, and not even a hate, just that anger that was misplaced and hate.
Right.
Respect.
Just because it hurt so much that she wasn't there. And I mean, it hurt too that my dad wasn't there, but you know, when you in our culture, dads often aren't there.
Yeah,
But
savage
mothers are supposed to be there, and when you have to explain why your mama isn't there, it's a different
crazy.
kind of conversation than, oh, you know, my daddy ain't there. So anyway,
That's real.
and because my mom was from the street, she was Harlem, you know, from the street, always fighting and just explosive personality. I named her Dynamite. So the book is kind of like a double-edged sword. It talks about my childhood trauma, but it's really, the root of the book is about my relationship with her and how
That's
I just
dope.
couldn't get past forgiving her and all the pain that she caused me, but all the pain that I really caused myself by not forgiving her.
Wow. So where are you guys now? You and Mom Dukes? Where you guys stand now?
How your relationship is now?
Word.
So, sorry to put you guys on the spot, but she passed away 7 years ago.
Yo, Rich,
Yeah.
you fucked up. How you even ask about that? You ain't shit.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Dynamite.
For sure. R.I.P. to
Before
Dynamite.
before she died, we still had a really tough relationship that I just couldn't get past, and I couldn't forgive. And it wasn't for a lack of her trying. It just
I
was
respect it.
a lot of hate and anger in me that I just, you know, it felt better blaming her for everything that went wrong in my life and hating
Respect.
her than
Right.
to actually just say, hey, look, you hurt me and you wasn't
Respect.
there and I needed you. So
Respect.
we didn't have a good relationship when she passed away, and just really by my own accord. I think I'm in a space now that I've forgiven her, and hopefully in the afterlife she knows how much that I appreciate all that she couldn't be and all that she was.
Listen,
That's
energy is
real.
forever. It just transfers where it is.
I agree.
And
I
it can
agree.
feel the
That's what's up.
vibes, man.
Also, like in the book, something wrong with the teen girl.
Mhm.
Because in the book, you even leave out the part about what led to promiscuity. But people thought you were promiscuous because of your situation, so you fit into that character, and it wasn't you. You was liking boys, but liking boys is not you. It was like you wanted to have fun, but at the same time, you stubbed your body.
Right.
I like that part of the book. So you put the
She
jeans on for the first time.
stubbed?
So,
Oh,
discovered,
discovered.
like,
Oh.
She put the jeans on for the first time because she had a fat butt. They went outside.
I think I might have to read this. What's the name
Yeah,
of
you
this book
should.
again? Love Like Dynamite?
Love Like
Oh,
Dynamite,
okay.
Love Like Dynamite.
Love Like
Uh,
Dynamite.
No, you gave it to. I got it. I'm dyslexic. It takes a while.
I'm gonna
It
give you
takes a
this one
while.
so you can read it.
Shout out. Just give me 1 second. Lovely Entertainment just interjected real quick that she was just talking about growing into womanhood, and that this book can be a great help to young ladies in so many areas, because young ladies are growing into womanhood. So just so the viewers know, because they can't hear her.
So what Lovely is talking about is in the book. I talk about I went through, as most girls do. I was, a tomboy, and I didn't realize I had curves. And a girl in my building gave me some bubblegum jeans at the time. That was what they were called, and which was really like some stretch pants. And I had put them on, and I'm like, they're a little tight. But then I went outside, so I went from being unnoticed to like being noticed. And
Right.
one thing that I talk about a lot on my Facebook page is that grown men at that time was like, oh, you're gonna be bad, or oh, she got a fat ass, and that's just not cool. Like,
Right.
that is not cool. And sometimes that's our culture, right? You see the grown men, and they're looking, they see a girl, and they're like, damn, like she got a
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
But it's just not cool. If it's underage, it's underage. It's not
talk
cool
about the rape culture.
to look at,
Yeah, I feel you.
look at a
I
kid
feel
and
you.
say, oh, like, wow,
Not at all.
And
Not
so
at
that
all.
kind of happened to me, and I kind of liked the attention because I went from being invisible to
Right.
now I'm seen. It's like, oh shit,
Right.
like, and it was the wrong kind of attention, but nonetheless, it was attention, and I wasn't getting it from my parents. I wasn't getting it in my home life. And
Misplaced
it was-
energy.
Yeah, it was welcome
I dig
attention.
it. I definitely dig it. Okay, if you didn't write, what would you do for work?
Right.
So I have a job. I'm an HR director. I work a daytime job.
We're talking about, in a perfect world.
Oh, in
where
a perfect
Yeah,
world?
you're
Okay, if I didn't need to work for money and pay
type
bills,
shit,
like
type
that
shit,
kind of thing.
Type shit.
Oh, I'd be a backpacker in Africa. Like I just,
What?
sleep in villages and, just kind of.
That's gangster.
Yo.
I'd be connected to the motherland forever.
Does seeing the world help you write the book? Is it inspirational to the pages?
So I do travel quite a lot, and
Where was the last place you went?
the last place I went, where was the last place? Oh, I was just in Spain
Lord
just
have
last
mercy.
week.
He said it right there. He said,
Yeah, I was-
Spain.
See,
Where about? Madrid?
No, I was actually in Alicante, Spain, which is like
y'all travel. Y'all going to different
Yeah.
that's like an off-beaten path.
right.
And so the interesting thing about Alicante, so if any of you viewers are
Alicante?
thinking Alicante, Spain, so it's like the south of Spain. It was like
Alicante.
5 days, and I didn't see any black people. Not
I was just
one.
about to say, I'm not trying to go to Spain.
You didn't see no black people.
Not a
Just
one.
saw Spaniards.
All Spaniards. So
The
it's
real ones.
Yeah, the real Spaniards, not the ones that left motherland.
What was the
and
vibe?
went to-
How did you feel? Did it feel like they were, you're a female? How was the vibe?
Well, he didn't go. I went.
Oh,
Me and my
okay,
daughter
okay,
went.
okay. Pause off.
So I didn't. Nobody necessarily made me feel unsafe, but I didn't feel safe because I've never in my life encountered where 5 days go by and I didn't see anybody look like me, and I literally didn't see
Wow.
anybody look like me.
Once
so
they
I
could
kinda,
stop buying you, they was like, nah, we good.
And I don't know if you can have reverse racism, right? Because
No,
my black
no,
face can't
no.
do anything. But I didn't. I felt how white people probably feel about black people. I'm like clutching my purse. I'm like, I'm not going to be outside after 8 o'clock because I don't know what could possibly happen to me. And nobody did anything. Like nobody.
Sure,
like,
sure.
I didn't experience any racist
You're
anything
American.
there.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel as safe as I've felt in other places, and I've been to
Felt
Africa.
safer in the ghetto?
I've been to Bali. I've been to Thailand. I've been to Malaysia. I've been to Singapore. I've been tons of places.
How many
and,
passports you got?
Well, I'm on my third passport.
Can I get an applause, engineer? That's
Word.
gangster. Third passport?
I'm on my third passport.
That's rapper shit.
And
Damn.
I learned a really long time ago. So I learned a really long time ago that I could escape in traveling, and it's a place where I can mentally decompress. I can get myself straight. I can check myself. I can be like, you know, you're toxic, and you need to fix that. So I usually use
You're
travel
very
just
honest.
as a form of healing. So yes, the book is a very honest place. It's a very vulnerable place.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Have you ever got, not writer's block, reader's block?
I think I have reader's block now. Like, it isn't so easy for me to read a book. And I think just because for so long a book has been my escape, and I no longer need to escape.
Is it because it's not your book?
No, it's not because
Okay.
it's not my book, because I actually love to read. I think just I'm not in a space where I need to escape, and for so long books have been my escape. It's been the one place I can go and I can be anything that I want to be. And
I feel you.
from
I
like
feel
20
you.
to 40, I'm 43, so probably from like 20 to 40, I only read biographies, people that are wealthy, people that are successful, because I wanted to know
Law of attraction.
what's that it factor? What do you have that I don't have?
Nothing,
and
hard
now nothing. Yeah,
Hard
nothing.
work.
And now I no longer need that escape. I'm just in a different place. So it takes me a little bit longer to get through a book, but I still
That's
appreciate
dope.
somebody telling their story.
That's super hard. Rich, what's your escape, man?
Traveling now.
Right?
I want to travel more. I need to travel more because you're absolutely right. Because when I travel, when I go to different places, I don't know. I just be in a different zone, and I'll just be at peace with everything what I do. I don't be thinking about other stuff, what's going on, where I live at, and stuff like that. And you know, I like being in that space, and that's just like every time I travel somewhere, I go somewhere different out of New York State. I don't know. I like that vibe, and I
This
agree
bitch-
with
this
everything
nigga
that
take
you
pictures
said.
Like this.
He's
When
a
he in
hater.
another state,
He's a real
he just be like
hater.
looking in the
That's
wind
my
and
brother,
shit,
but
like-
he's a hater.
He's a hater.
looking in the
He's a
horizon,
hater.
like.
But it's all right. Who's your favorite writer?
Favorite writer, I don't know who's my favorite writer, but some of the best books that I've read that really
Right.
have impacted my life, of course, Striped Ice Cream,
Striped
but
Ice Cream, hard
Ted
title.
Kennedy's book.
Sounds like Ted Kennedy.
Shout
He's
out.
a good white guy.
True Compass is the name of his book.
Let me write
I
that
felt
down.
like it was really well written, and even though he comes from a privileged background, it's still I was able to relate to it. Believe it or not, George
Oh,
W.
yo,
book,
wrap it up. Show's done. We out of here.
I actually, and to be honest,
Decision
and you know
Point,
what's so crazy?
is the
Is
book
this
that he
senior or
wrote.
junior we talking about?
Junior,
Oh.
George Walker Bush, and I know people hate him, especially.
Nah, I don't even hate George Bush no more. And what I was going to say, no, the only reason why I'm saying that is because Donald Trump makes George Bush
Yeah.
like
Oh,
a
well,
good,
if
like,
that's-
let's keep it a
yeah,
nah.
I mean,
Not like.
Let me be clear. I'm not a fan of George Walker Bush, but I am a fan of his book Decision Points, and
Right.
he wrote it
Nah.
right after he came out of office, and he kind of explained the whole FEMA situation. He's like, look, although I'm the elected president, it's officials, it's New Orleans officials that were supposed to handle FEMA coming in and helping
So
with
he
Katrina.
passed the buck.
So I wouldn't say he passed the book, but I feel like he was really honest, and I can appreciate honesty.
Right.
I feel like he didn't like not take responsibility, but he said it's a bigger picture.
He
and
just dumb.
understanding.
He gonna take
I
responsibility
mean,
because he dumb.
possibly, Possibly, but
He a paper
it's
gangster.
one
Ah,
of
He's
those.
a
yeah.
super.
He's a paper
oil,
gangster.
He's an oil baron.
He
nigga.
got all
He's
that.
an oil baron,
He
nigga.
killed
What?
Saddam
He got
Hussein
oil money.
And got all.
He
Got
got
that
oil
oil
money,
money.
nigga.
So
We're not talking about the person. We're talking about the book.
Understood. True
so
Compass.
actually,
True
no.
Compass.
True Compass is Ted,
Ted
Kennedy's.
Kennedy, you right.
Decision Points is George Bush's.
Okay, okay.
Assata Shakur will forever be.
There we
on
go.
my-
Assata
listen,
Shakur.
I love Black authors.
There we go.
Sidney Poitier,
There we-
Measure of a
there we
Man
go.
is my
There we
forever
go.
favorite. So I have tons of books that.
What is that shit? Guess who's coming to dinner, man? That was 8th grade. Shouts out to Miss Caldwell. She made sure we knew about that.
But I think it's important, like, because at one point I remember maybe about 25 years ago, I would only read Black authors, and I had told my boss,
That's
I'm
where
like,
I'm at.
I only read Black authors.
That's
I
where
don't
I'm
want to
at.
read anybody that isn't Black. And she's like, what are you, like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And it is the most ridiculous
it
thing
is.
that,
It takes time for that to resonate, though. But I think you should start super Black and then go broad.
Yes, you definitely.
Go
I've read
inward
all
and then go
all
outward.
the Black Native Sons, the Malcolm
You have
X's.
to. You
Those
have
are
to.
all my favorites
have to.
and have forever made a mark on my life.
have to.
I love my people. I love our story, and I'm just glad that I can join the world of authors and share my story.
Big salute. Man, it's Turned Up Tuesday. You already know how it get and how it go down, man. You could bite the style, my nigga, but you might break your teeth, you bitch ass niggas, man.
you
This
said
the
that
time-
show soft today because we got a writer in the
Yeah, so I
building.
couldn't,
He
you
didn't
know,
even go so hard.
I couldn't
but,
even.
Listen,
you
go
know,
ahead, go.
I couldn't.
Go.
But this is the point of the show where we like to say, you know, let the people know where they could go, they can
And
fuck with you, and
and
spend
spend
that
that bag.
bag.
Yes. So, because I'm on a Nipsey Hustle kind of thing, it's all money in, no money out. You only can get the book from my website.
Switching up the style, neighborhood.
Neighborhood
Neighborhood
Nip. At some point, it will be on Amazon, but I'm all money in, no money out right about now. So you can go to allthingsnonabishop.com, click on the Love Like Dynamite link, and it's a simple purchase. It's a simple click.
I'm not mad at that. Direct sales out here, hand to hands.
Yes.
I'm not-
And I
am
drop
not
books off
upset.
too. I'm mobile.
I am not upset. Yo, what's up, lovely? Oh, copy cool. Oh, you want to take a 5-minute John? All right, say no more. So look, man, it's Turned Up Tuesday. You already know what it is and how it's going down. Shout out to Lovely Entertainment. She had a
Word.
5-minute break. So
She
we'll
working.
Take a 5-minute break for a second, you know what I'm saying? But we will be right back. We got a couple more minutes with Miss Bishop. So please stick around, fuck with us how we fuck with you. Rich, you got anything before we go on this little break real quick?
Nothing. Love life, and we here.
All right, so we all gonna go smoke bogeys, including Miss Bishop, and we out.
I know. I don't smoke bogeys.
I already know. I'm sorry. Listen. The views of Turned Up Tuesday do not involve Miss Bishop. That's just Dave Suave talking shit. You already know. It's TUT the podcast. Fuck with us. Subscribe, please. YouTube is the channel, man. Forever 95. Spell out everything. Don't be lazy. Check us out on
Definitely
YouTube,
don't.
man. This is an episode that all you ladies, you entrepreneurs, you writers, you creatives out there, this is the episode you want to see. Usually we up here drunk with rappers just talking about bullshit. This is the episode where this young lady is really dropping jewels. And when we come back on the other side, we're going to get more into publishing, monetizing your work, you know, the real meat and potatoes of what's going on. So, engineer, we good on the break? We out? All right, say that. Yo, you already know we back, and it's the second half, so you know it's past 11, so we a little saucy, but we got a lady in the building, so we're gonna keep it classy, you heard? We're not gonna ask the question that we usually ask everybody.
Yeah, we being
Unless
light and
Rich is
easy
feeling
today.
froggy.
Nah, we ain't gonna do that.
All right.
We ain't gonna do that.
All right.
Well, now I'm curious. So what's the question?
Nah.
Oh, don't tell. All right, listen. You want to know?
I want to know.
Nah. I'm saying no. Normally I wouldn't give a fuck. I'll say what I want to say, but I ain't gonna do that.
Well,
It's a different type of episode today. We ain't gonna do that.
gotcha.
I'm so tempted, bro.
Nah.
But I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna relax because this is a lady. But how do you pick?
And we on some positive shit today, dude. Like we gotta be on some positive. Like we doing. She's talking about her butt.
Positive vibes.
Positive
only.
vibes. That's it.
All right. right. So, how do you choose the names of your characters in your book?
I think I just try to, for one, keep it closely as possible to their names so that I can
Really?
keep up with the names
As you're writing, true.
as I'm
Right,
writing,
right,
because
right.
at one point, because it was so many different characters, I had to kind of just write on a separate piece of paper, like this person is this person, this person is this person. But if you read the acknowledgments, you can probably try to even figure out.
Yeah, because shouts out to Lovely Entertainment. She cracked the code on one.
Yes.
A Miss Jamila.
Yeah.
So what was the question? You said you wanted to know which one was.
I didn't know which character was Jamila. I didn't know that, y'all really.
Because she knows her as well.
So Jamila's my cousin, and she wrote a book too. And she actually was on the show. Her book is A Woman's Intuition.
Oh, duh!
Yes.
I'm bugging. I'm thinking of another Jamila. I'm stupid. Yeah, yo, shout out to Jamila. That book is dope.
Yes.
I'm dyslexic. It took me a while. I got to it,
But
but I'm
you
gonna
got-
get to
you
yours
got to
too.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
hell
well,
yeah. It just
appreciate
takes
it.
time. That's all.
That's it.
My fault. Go ahead, please. Jamila, your cousin.
And her name in the book is Jamel. But although I have a lot of characters in the book, I really tell minimum about them just because I feel like how you was talking about early, Rich, that I don't want to tell somebody else's story. I
Right.
just want to tell my story. So
Right.
although I include them, it's really vague. Other people are really vague in the book because I don't want to tell anybody else's story, or just possibly tell something that maybe somebody didn't want them to know.
Nah, that's a fact.
That's a
fact. So we're gonna get a little bit into, like I said, the monetization of your work.
Okay.
Right. So for the writers out there that are out there writing, daily, just got these, notebooks on top of notebooks of work. What do they do? How do they monetize their intellectual property? How do they turn it into money?
So write a book. I mean,
Yeah, but like, what made you start? Like, because I don't meet a lot of people. Like, to be honest, I don't meet a lot of people that's into stuff like that. Want to write a book or like going hard to put a book on a shelf and shit like that.
yeah.
I'm keeping it 100 with you. And
So for me, this project started like 7 years ago, but I just wasn't in a space to tell my story 7 years ago because I still was on my healing journey. And not that I'm completely healed, because healing can be a lifetime thing.
Right.
Every day I discover different things about myself. But 7 years ago, I was kind of talking to my dad, and we were kind of just figuring out, we were on this like entrepreneurial road, and we were kind of figuring out like, okay, he had got deported, and this was like the fourth time he had went to jail, came home, came back to the U.S. illegally. My mom would hustle up the money, get him back. He would call it occupational hazard, right? You can't break the law and not expect to go to jail. So he would say, Nona, it's occupational hazard. I'm going to run back up here. So we were trying to figure out, like, well, how do we get you back to the U.S., but you don't have any more occupational hazard experiences. And so we were brainstorming. He was like, you should write a book. So he would call my aunt's house where I lived. My aunt had 12 kids, and a lot of people lived in the household. And he was like, you could write a book on all them characters in the house. So he kind of encouraged the project. And a few months later, my dad passed away. But I wanted to tell, and also the main reason I told my story is I believe that sometimes you go through generational trauma, right?
Right.
My dad was abandoned by his dad. My mom was abandoned by her dad. I was abandoned by both of them. And everything in my life has happened in cycles. So if you read the book, it's a point in my life where my mother, father, and both my children's father, everybody's in jail, and I'm trying to hold it together. I'm running to this penitentiary, that penitentiary, and I'm putting money on this person's book, I'm putting money on this person's book, and I'm kind of just, in survival mode. Like, I can't even take time out to say, like, wow, all these people are in jail. Like, my whole life is surrounded
Just working,
by,
head down.
yeah, 10 feet planted on the ground, because if I think about it, I'm going to fall apart.
That's
but if
right.
I just stay tunnel vision,
I can work through it.
yeah, I can get through it. And
Yep.
so my dad really planted the idea, but I figured if I tell my story, I can change my trajectory. Like
Now,
my
what island
kids,
is he from?
huh?
Your dad.
My dad is from Trinidad.
Shouts out to Trinidad. and
Trinidad.
Tobago.
Yeah.
Big up.
And it's home. Trinidad is home. I haven't been back in a long time, but it always feels like home for me. So.
It only makes sense. The sun is shining
That's
on
right.
you. The
Yeah.
beach is nice. The liquor is good.
Nah, I
Rhodey
gotta
is
read
good.
that. I'm definitely
Rhodey
gonna
is
read that book.
Yes, so definitely read it.
All right, so boom, we got a couple minutes left. First of all, is there anything that you want to let the people know before we get up out of here and I get on my bullshit? And we got a little game we gonna play. But is there anything that maybe we missed, or you know, that you just want to make sure that you get out there to the people?
So I guess for me, the only thing I would want people to know is that if you can live your truth, right? Your truth will. It sounds so cliche and corny, but the truth will set you free. I think since I've told my truth, I've felt so much lighter. A lot of times we walk around, especially in black cultures, because we feel like our parents, our grandparents don't have people in your business. Don't be going out there telling them folks my business, and you feel you feel shame about the things that you go through.
Right.
And when you tell your truth, like
your neighbor going through it
so
too.
many people can relate to it.
Yep.
Like the book talks about so many things about my parents back and forth in and out of jail. So my parents were credit card scammers, right? They were scamming people in like 1976. Not nice, but they were scamming people in like 1976. Like they,
That's cool.
Invented like credit card scamming.
Hey.
They would. Sometimes my mom would be in jail, my dad would be taking me. Sometimes my dad would be in jail, my mom would be taking me. And then other times they both was in jail. And just like.
Who took you then?
Nobody took me. I just didn't see them then. And then one time, my mom's friend at 16 took me to see my mom. My mom asked me to bring some heroin to her in jail. Yeah, so because I had been to jail so many times, I kind of like knew like how they would search me, and so I kind of had this turtleneck on, and I taped the heroin to the seam of the shirt, and I get through the search procedure, and I'm in the visiting area, and I didn't plan that part out. I didn't plan how I would give it to her. And my mom's god sister had took me, and she's like, "You got what?" She watched me right out the visiting room into the bathroom. She's like, give it here right now." And I didn't understand then, but I realized I put her freedom in jeopardy too.
Oh, for sure.
I put her freedom, and that was a big part of me hating my mom, right? Because I'm like, what kind of mother would ask her kid to bring drugs to her in jail? But a heroin addict.
OG Mom Dukes.
An addict would
Bring
ask
the package
that.
through.
And it wasn't her not being my mom asking me that. It was her addiction saying, I need this high, and, here's a resource that I can get it.
Yeah, gangster.
So I think the takeaway would be for people who kind of feel like they're responsible for their parents' actions, or you feel guilty and shameful because of what your parents are. I would say, you're not your parents.
That's
and
a fact. You don't
whatever,
gotta live for their sins.
people's journeys are different. The one highlight is that I've been able to forgive my mom and to say, I don't know what her story was like. I don't know what kind of abuse she experienced as a teen, as a young adult, and I wanted to win a war against drugs that wasn't designed for me to win. So
that's just
the only thing I can do is change my trajectory by telling my story. And
Are you at peace with that?
Yeah, I'm at peace. I love my mom, and although it was really hard for me to love her when she was alive, I know that everything that she did was in love, and the things that didn't feel so loving had nothing to do with me, and everything to do with her addiction. It had nothing to do with her loving or not loving me.
Believe it.
Yeah.
All right, so boom, we on the way out the door right now. We're going to get into a little game, and we out of here. All right, so it's either or.
Okay.
Chicken spot or Philippe's?
Philippe's, like.
Philippe's. Okay.
Listen, you had this chicken satay.
Listen, man, we had some.
Well, it's actually Brooklyn Chop House, but okay.
Okay,
Close
put
enough.
that in the notes. Brooklyn Chop.
They own same owners though.
So still wrong answer. It's supposed to be the chicken spot. But all right, Philippe's.
Like Kennedy's Chicken, though.
Yeah. Yes.
Like you
Brooklyn
ain't
Chop
eat
House.
it.
It's
You
still
ain't
Brooklyn
it.
Chop House.
All right. Brooklyn Chop House. Go check it out though.
Yes, check it out.
So Nike or Adidas?
Adidas.
Like Adidas.
Shout out to DWI. He's right on
Adidas has
time.
been coming out with some shit lately for the past couple of years.
They got
I ain't
flavor.
gonna
They
lie.
got some new designers over there.
And Adidas has good running sneakers. They're the
that's for
most
sure.
comfortable.
Yeah, that's a
That's for
fact.
sure.
Than overnight.
That's a
That's for
fact.
sure. Shout out to the workouters out there. Tupac or Biggie? You could change that to two writers. Let's change that to Donald Goins or who's another great street? You know Quan? You familiar with Quan?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go legend new guy. Donald Goins or Quan?
I'm gonna say Donald Goins. He's
I
like
know, that was kinda
legendary.
fucked up. I know, that was kinda
yeah,
fucked
like,
up.
He's just in a
Shout
class
out
by
to
himself,
Donald
yeah.
Goins.
All right,
Shout out to
okay.
Is he still living or he's dead, right?
I don't know.
I think he long dead. Yeah.
I think he's dead.
He
Yeah,
gotta be.
yeah. Shout out to Donald Goins.
Now, you've been free spirit, so we just gonna run with it.
Go with it.
Ass or titties?
I ain't got no titties, so I'm gonna say ass.
Hey, well, there we go. Cats or dogs?
Neither.
What? Yo, this lady, yo. Well, neither?
Neither.
Why you don't like cats or dogs?
Yo.
So I'm just totally not an animal person. Like I just.
You don't like no animals
I don't
at
like
all?
no animals to be honest.
Not even a chimpanzee or like a little monkey?
I tried to kill somebody at 7. Like I tried to commit murder at 7. I
Oh,
don't like animals.
man.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that real quick. Let's finish this game because we're gonna get into that on the way out the door for real. So, last one, no, excuse me, 2 more. Turkey bacons or pork bacons?
I try not to eat either these days, but I'm gonna go with pork bacon. Ain't no bacon like
Yeah.
pork bacon. And if you fry it hard, it's even better.
Listen, okay. Last one, tacos or pizza?
Tacos.
Tacos.
Chicken tacos, shrimp tacos. Tacos.
All right, well,
Got
you
you.
survived. Now, before we leave, we gotta get. Now, first of all, you guys are gonna go buy this book so you can get all the good juice. But
Yeah.
please give us a little piece of this murder story. Like,
Word.
shout out to Lovely Entertainment again. She walks in talking about boric acid,
Yeah, I don't know. That
attempted
was
murders,
weird.
and 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
So, I don't think I planned a murder in a sense, but me and my sister went to live with my aunt, and we just really wanted to be with my mom. We wanted to be back, and we were
Right.
really miserable in the household. And
Right.
so one night we figured if we killed my aunt, who was my caretaker
We
at the
going
time,
home.
we're going to get to go back to my mom. So we dumped all this boric acid. She had made like a stew or something. We dumped the whole bottle of acid, boric acid. She ate the food, and we waited, and then the next morning she's up, and then the next night she gives us the same boric acid food for dinner. So that's
Is she
how
from
it happened.
Trinidad?
No, she's from the South, American.
That's that Southern blood.
Yeah, it didn't
Take
kill her.
boric
And I don't
acid.
know if we intended to, because when I think about murder now, I'm like we could have taken her life out.
Is she still alive?
No, unfortunately she passed away, but not, I didn't kill her. I didn't kill her.
Did she know that you?
No, she never knew. As a matter of fact, this is the first time I've ever talked about it.
Nice, Turn to
Since
Tuesday.
it happened, so
Nice.
it's Confession Tuesday too.
Confession Tuesday.
Like that. That's
I like
me.
that. I like that.
So I don't know if we necessarily thought like kill somebody, but we did think if she was out the way, we'd be able to go back to my mother.
Gangster. Listen, if you need any more reason to read and just follow this young lady, I don't know what to tell you. She's a creative, attempted murderer,
Yeah.
some kind of a snitch in ways or another, a strong black woman,
And
a survivor.
Drugs and Rikers Island, right?
No, listen. She's a drug mule at Rikers Island. Like,
Right.
listen, guys, this is the type of writers you need. And
Facts.
for you, it was to either be a writer or a musician.
That's true.
These are the 2 professions, and I hate to say this, but listen, my parents dabbled in what they dabbled in. We all got our stories, like you
Right.
just
Right.
said. And these, I swear, these create the best creatives. I'm sorry. Because
That's true.
you've been through so much in your life, there's not much that you're going to shy away from. So that broadens you to a whole nother level. Thank God you traveled the earth. So that, again, broadens your writing to another level.
Yes.
And then when you write it and then put it in the way that you did, and you package it, this is how we digest books, at least in where I'm from. I don't really see my people walking around with Alan Poe or you
Right.
know, those type of guys. I see them walking around with these kind of books.
That's true.
Entrepreneurs, indie writers putting out their work. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, y'all. A, fuck with her work because she has a story to tell. B, make your own shit.
Facts.
This is just another inspiration for all you creatives out there to
Right.
materialize what the fuck y'all doing. If it's a podcast, get your shit on YouTube, get you some views, get you some ads, make you some money. If you're a writer, get you some, what's the minimum for a book? 200 pages, 90 pages?
So my book is 220 pages, but it can be a short people
Look.
write books with tips. Like you can write
Look.
15 tips how to survive the ghetto.
30-page book.
anything, or how to survive the project.
Do
so
it,
whatever.
man.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
just do it.
And I mean this in the best way. If Miss Bishop could do it, if we can have a podcast, if Lovely Entertainment could be a PD, your bum ass could do it too.
Facts.
The fuck?
Your amazing ass could do it too.
Yeah, some of y'all are amazing, but some of y'all some bum ass niggas.
That's
Let's
a
be
fact.
real. If we listen, man, listen. You know. But anyway, this is Turned Up Tuesday. We want to thank Miss Bishop for her
Thank you for
time
having me.
more than anything. We want to thank you for your
Thank you.
story, which was
Word.
like
Thank you. so much.
Appreciate it.
mind blown. Rich, what you got?
Well, I took it easy this week because we had a writer's edition. But, you know, we'll be back. We'll be back acting crazy next week, but I'm going to calm down. Shout out to everybody.
Shout out
you know,
to everybody.
And I'm here. Love life. And, you know, that's it.
Miss Bishop, on the way out the door, anybody you want to shout out? Any projects, future projects coming out that you want us to put us in tune with? Whatever.
Future projects, I'm actually creating a case study guide to Love Like Dynamite. It'll be 2 separate study guides, one for collegiate level social work, mental health classes that will kind of be a guide to processing trauma and how it relates to urban areas. And the other guide is for high school girls, 9th through 12th grade, to kind of just talk about self-love and identifying when they're not being so loving to themselves.
Where can they find it
Friends.
when it does drop? Oh, the site.
So yeah, on the site, but probably Barnes and Noble. That's the
Oh,
goal.
permiso,
yeah.
lo siento, Barnes
Yeah.
and Nobles.
Then I
Okay.
need to kind of include some other people, but for right now, come to the website, All Things Known to Bishop. Book a life coaching session. I can get you right. So if you're thinking about writing that book and you don't know where to start, come to me. I also ghostwrite. So if you like the way the book is written, got your story to tell, hit me up. Down the road is known as mobile notary. So I'll be at your door if
Oh,
you
you do
need
not-
to be notarized.
That's
I'm
important.
actually doing a training next month, but I'll be
That's
at my job,
dope.
but I'm going to
You don't know
finesse
how
it
many
to
times
a
I've even
mobile-
notary. Whatever.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
and,
go ahead.
I'll come to your door.
That's
so,
dope.
And those are the things that's just coming down the pipeline. But hopefully
Right,
you
right.
guys will have me back.
Oh, I don't see why not. You do everything. I can't see a reason why not. Listen, it's TUT. We brought you a whole nother one. Fuck with us how we fuck with you.
Word.
YouTube, fuck with us. Subscribe. Forever 95.
Forever
is the
95,
channel.
we in the building.
Turntables is on all streaming services right now.
They got a lot of stuff going on right now.
Vibe with that. What else is going on? Lovely Entertainment. What's going on? What we doing?
Next week,
Well, we'll figure it out.
So they're planning the plan. That's the
Listen,
plan.
next week is Royal Critic Clothing, so check in for that. We about to get fly next week. I think that's all. Yeah.
Right.
Yo, my bad. Shouts out to my man DJ Scrappy
Yeah, Dappy.
Yo, add
Shout
him
out
on
to
the
Scrap,
gram.
man.
He's everywhere, spinning them ones and twos. He's
You
actually
ain't in
chasing
today.
bag.
We gonna get you Scrap next week. Don't worry about it.
Know that. And big shouts out to Miss Bishop.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Again, just because you're a lady. Anything else before we get up out of here?
I would just say lead with love.
Lead with love. TUT, and we out on that. You already know. That was dope.
Thank you guys. You guys are the best. I only have one copy, but
It's mine.
it's yours.